Okay, everyone. Now that we've explained a little bit about what jQuery is, what we want to do is we want to actually build out an implementation of a jQuery widget into an existing site that we have. So what I'm going to do here is, let me just sample this really quick so you can see what we're working with here. This is something we worked on last week here. Here it is right here, okay? Or the week before, sorry, is a sort of we built this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this sub navigation here, and on each of these musical genre links here, when we click it, it's going to pop up a window that has a graphic in it that actually shows the image inside of that pop-up window that we demonstrated in the last video. All right, so let me just put this on the side here. Okay, so what I have here, okay, I did a couple things already. I took the liberty of dragging my exercise folder for today into this folder. And you'll notice there's a couple additional things that we didn't have the last time we looked at this. First, you'll see we have a folder called images, and in there, I took the liberty of downloading a bunch of images to represent each of the musical genres here. So I have classical, electronic, hip hop, indie, and R&B. Okay, so those are just images that when you click at the little icon, it's going to pop up and show that image. And that's one. And then I also took the liberty of downloading the Fancy Box widget from the website that I showed you in the previous exercise. And essentially, here it is right here in this folder for today. So you want to make sure when you're going to use a widget that you copy it into the root folder of your site so that you can establish linkages to the files that are necessary to make the widget work, as well as make sure your file continues to work. Okay, so that's a challenge we're going to have. Right now, so that being said, here we have this layout here. The first thing we want to do whenever you're going to try to decide to use a widget is you want to look at this and say, okay, what I want to do is I want to use there's a demo file that usually comes with any Fancy Box or any widget that you're going to use, which kind of demonstrates how to use the widget effectively, right? So if we go into Fancy Box folder here and we go into the demo folder, you'll see there's a file called index.html here. So I'm going to bring that up really quick, okay? And let me just bring this on the screen so you can see it. So here's what the demo file looks like in a browser, okay? So you'll see it has all different ways of implementing this. So if we click, this is a simple image gallery. If I click that, you'll see we get that pop-up. If I click that, I get the pop-up. Then it has some different effects on it. So I see there's some other effects right there, so on and so forth. Then it talks about implementing things like with iframes or Swifts or different sort of examples that you can do this with. Then how to do it with YouTube and Vimeo, so on and so forth. Okay, so this demo file is sort of your best friend because it's going to show you how to implement this on your website. Okay, so let me just pull this out of the way here. So I have the code open for Fancy Box right here in brackets. Okay, and this is in your exercise folder that you downloaded from Canvas. There's a folder called Fancy Box, and in that folder you'll find a folder called Demo, and in there there's a file called index.html. Now, the first thing you're going to see that gets established is there's going to be a series of linkages between our file and the widget files, okay? And these are represented in two ways in this demo file. First, by using a script tag. Here's one on line 8 of this demo file. A script tag is a way similar to an external style sheet file to actually link to an external JavaScript file. So when you use the script tag, okay, you'll see you have a script tag and you have a source, and then that source points to the location of a certain file that you want to be active in this file. Okay, so this one is pointing to the main jQuery library. Okay, and then you'll see we have another one here on line 11 that sort of points to a sub-library, which is called jQuery mouse wheel, which I suspect is used for having mouse control. And then finally, we have a third one here on line 14, which actually points to the specific widget JavaScript library called FancyBox.js. Now, if you don't have these linkages set up correctly in your document, your widget won't work. Okay, so you got to go back and you got to make sure these linkages are all set and established before you actually try to implement this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to migrate all of these linkages into our HTML file on the play site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to copy from line 6 all the way down here to line 26. Okay, and I'm going to say edit, copy, and then I'm going to go back to my index file, okay, in my site, the play site that we created, right? This site right here, okay? And I'm going to paste this in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste this after my style. Well, let's paste it before my style sheets, okay? So what I'll do is I'll go up here right after the head tag, and I'm just going to say edit, paste everything that I copied from the previous file, right?